Oh, oh dah ada mic. Oh ni mic Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. So my name is Nur Arif bin Zainul Abidin and I will be your MC for a webinar today. So I'd like to give everyone a very warm welcome on behalf of AAGBS Graduate Business School, University Technology Mara, Malaysia. Today we will be discussing about fintech and cryptocurrency. Professor Dr. M. Kabir Hassan will be the speaker for today's webinar. Without further ado, I will turn the microphone over to our speaker so he can express his thoughts on today's webinar. Yeah.
Before I start, actually yesterday, one of the presentation so that during this presentation, I gave him a lot of the Maha Deputy Maha. This is the key cement, right? Because of Maha, people cannot get married. This is a big problem. It's determined by the number of factors, what are their mother, sister, what is the mom, or what kind of. But many of times you should not be like practicing because later on why for being but it is a support because of this amount so big, a lot of young men cannot, approach marriage because of that. So the agreement is a big problem. So the problem is a big problem. Because the Saudi law is guardian. Daughter is under the guardianship of the father. So what? It's a slow to economic condition and many of this similarly. What can make it better? So the father doesn't want to keep her away with that. They know the mahar, the income, they generate for the daughter is supposed to stop, right? Once she's married, she belongs, to the husband. So that's the second reason. The second is the government subsidizes. Now, a practical example, my son got married. This guy doesn't have any idea. She knew this girl for a number of years. They are both working, taking a lot of money. So, but they have the idea that mahar or whatever you do, if there is a divorce. So you put any amount. That's the idea. I told him that, man, but God forbid, if there is something negative, you have to deal with this money back, whether there's a divorce or not. So he started with $1 million. How much I gave you? $4,000. Finally, they came up with another game. I was supposed to buy one. I want to put my hands up. This is the first. 7 for company again. So the idea that mahar savings, so how we have got you should get a 25. This I said those 25. That will not be let's say mahar is 100,000. So they will come to an agreement of the contract that they would make savings that amount money every month. So that money will also grow. That money will be under the wife's name. So she was thinking about this, came up with the product to become independent. So I gave her an alternative. You can be married and still be independent. Money belongs to you. It will be under your name. I do not know whether you have this thing in this country. This product is not, but I think the bank can start doing it actually. This will be a good way of encouraging younger generation. Huh? Yeah, no, yeah, do that. Actually,
Oh, great. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today, first day I talked about Islamic finance can be a solution to global financial crisis. Second day, I talked about what? I talked about how to publish and avoid rejection. And third day, we talked about how to upgrade the curriculum. And I think that was a fruitful discussion yesterday. I learned something from you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to make it better. Today, blockchain and cryptocurrency. Recently when I came here, one of my co-authors, Aisha Munizia, there was Isra, there's the 17 Sharia Scholars Forum, and Firdaus was there, and also Sharifa. Now, we have written a book recently, Fintech. This book is coming out pretty soon. It's under the Galley Proof thing. And you also have a book coming with her, and she's doing all the work. So, yeah, and actually this is, the publisher is very well-known publisher, Edward Elgar. So today, first of all, let me say at the outset, I'm not an expert of blockchain. I'm not a technical guy. But this has become so pervasive that we cannot avoid it anymore. And yesterday, when you're talking about curriculum revision, and many universities in the United States are teaching a course on fintech, okay? At least the managers and the people should know what it is and what isn't. But in order to have a full understanding, you have to have a technical background, like computer science or engineering, because the framework, the platform is done by them. We are just the user. So the way we teach in business school from the user standpoint. So blockchain is a method, but that blockchain is used in order to create different types of fintech type of products. So let me start. I have a very structured presentation. So let me start with a definition. So blockchain is a trustless, decentralized, secure ledger maintained by a distributed network of computers called nodes that provides a unique way to execute transactions without any need for intermediaries. It's a loaded. We already lost, but I'll show you with a diagram what I mean by this. It consists of three components: a transaction record, and a system that verifies and stores the transaction. This platform has been further divided into public and private blockchain. And the first blockchain was conceptualized by Satoshi Nakamoto. Somebody said he's a fictitious name because nobody has seen him. There was a paper published 2008. And that is the beginning of this blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. Now, if you see that diagram here, so these are the steps involved. So let's say step one, party one wants to send funds to party B. And step two, this transaction is posted online as a block. Step three, the block is announced to all parties within the network. Those are involved in the network. Step four, the parties in the network confirm the validity of the transaction. Everybody says legit transaction. Step five, the block is then added into the blockchain. That's why the name is called blockchain, which contains all credible transactions, which provides transparency. Everybody know, no hanky-panky, what happened from the beginning to the end. And step six, the money is then sent from party A to party B. Now, if I want to send some money to Shafiner, if I have this electronic mobile payment, she gets it right away. But from step one to step six in blockchain, it may take minutes, 10 minutes. So this is one of the drawbacks of this blockchain technology as well. As I go on, I'll talk about this. So There are some advantages and disadvantages. The very reason that blockchain technology was used in order to create cryptocurrency, so you want to liberate yourself, make yourself independent. I'm following her terminology. So it's a disintermediated and secure. It's cheaper and faster, transparent and reliable, durable and immutable. It process integrity and longevity. But of course, there's a regulatory uncertainty. There's a hurdle in adopting this technology. Layers of infrastructure around the blockchain still need to be standardized and built. So I do not play in cryptocurrency. I never did because I do not understand this. My daughter did, but she got out of this because she realized that this is not her cup of tea. Unless you understand this, just don't try to follow a social hype of media. After I came here, one of my students is teaching at Silango State. He's an associate professor. He told me he lost about 20,000 ringgit playing this cryptocurrency. Told him, why the hell you did that? So I made a mistake. You know, you hear from your friend is making money, say that it's so easy. So you should not get into this something which you do not understand. And not only that, you know, I'm a professor of finance. I teach, you know, how the stock market operate, you know, how to make money on the fundamental value. But unless you're a full-time investor, don't get into this kind of, let your money be managed by a professional manager because that's her only job, right? So many times we often make this mistake. And we should not really. Now the application of blockchain, there's a long chain of list and the new things are coming out. Yesterday, one is product development. They're thinking about zakat collection using technology. And the blockchain could be a solution. I asked the Basnas, the Indonesian zakat centralized body, and Indonesia is really a little bit ahead of us. And they have developed this blockchain technology in order to collect, disseminate zakat. So now there is a product cycle in technology field. Do you know this computer power, the computer that I'm using right now, when I first bought my computer many years ago, 15, 20 years ago, it's probably 3 times heavier, bigger, and 1/10 of the power that I have in this computer. So the computer power is increasing every 18 months. That's the same thing in blockchain, is a new technology. And according to the gentleman, his name is it's a Gartner law. He says that this blockchain should have matured 5 years ago. Bottom line is the blockchain technology has reached its maturity stage. Now, you know, we are not and should not be anti-technology, but there could be another technology coming up which is better than the blockchain technology itself too. Now, the thing that is happening into the technology world, the development, the mathematical sciences, because everything based on some algorithm, right? So the algorithm is based on the math behind it, the engineering framework behind it. So blockchain can be used by industries for, you know, we have letters of credit, and it can be done in a more precise and better way. And I do know that many big companies using blockchain technology to replace the existing letters of credit in international trade. Now, who are the biggest players? Of course, United States, you know, is the biggest. They have this figures a little bit older. There are 143 companies in the United States, and the rest of the world are the rest of it. 14 firms in UK, and the other countries are between 6 to 10. Now, at one point, China used to have the house, this blockchain tech, 1/3 of the world, you know, the blockchain, the miner used to reside in China. But it consumes so much energy, the Chinese government banned it. So no more blockchain coming out of China. In Malaysia, I understand there was a ruling that you can use this as an asset, but also it's a regulated, very highly regulated, so that it does not deceive the investors. because the role of regulation is to protect you so that you are not deceived. Now, there are 9 issues in blockchain and cryptocurrency. Issue number 1, but before I do this, let me start. It exists, okay, there exist many discrepancies about money. The question that you ask, who creates money? Who can access it and how? Who controls it? To what degree and how it is regulated? Decision whether governments have access to all our financial data, whether criminals can easily launder vast sums of money unseen. Can the benefits of finance be extended to the billions of people globally who lack access to banks? Now, there has been a big debate, those who study monetary economics, whether we should let the private banking system create credit or that credit creation should be brought back to the central government and they will create credit for the benefit of the economy. And Mahathir at one time was of the idea of having a dinner standard, so monetary justice. And I remember I came 1998, there was a big conference friend of mine, the big guy, not Baharum, but his friend. He used to be the dean of IIEF. Huh? Not Syed Musa. Mira did his PhD in Texas, one next door. So actually Mira brought me in and actually I met Mahathir that time. But after that, there was a pressure from Saudi Arab and many countries because from the Western world, because we used to have a fixed exchange rate regime, right? Remember 1971? And because United States, we are the culprit really, you broke it because you want to make dollar to take over everything. And if you look at the world, 80% of the world trade is done through dollar. Because everybody wants to accept dollar as a medium of exchange, we are exporting all our problems to the rest of the world. So inflation, recorded inflation in the United States, like 8% roughly. The numbers, the last number probably would be a little lower. But if people did not want to hold dollar as a reserve currency, our inflation probably would be many-fold of this 8%. So we want to protect our hegemony. So even this Ukraine-Russian war, Russia is insisting that you have to pay in ruble, but United States forced the European Union, because they are the biggest importer of their gas, don't pay in ruble. Because then ruble will become an alternate or competing reserve currency. Remember this petrodollar that happened, that was the original agreement they had with the House of Saud, that whatever you do, but you have to price your oil in dollar. That's the way. So it's a fascinating history I want you to read when you have a free time. Now, cryptocurrency, I already explained what it is. Do you know how many cryptocurrencies are there? There are around 20,000 cryptocurrencies worth around $2 trillion. Bitcoin is the name that we know, and it was created in 2008 by Satoshi. Nobody knows who the guy is. The institutional investors are now accumulating them, life insurance companies, investment bankers, hedge funds. There is also Bitcoin futures, options, and exchange-traded funds. Now, we have seen that instrument exist in the stock market, so it's the stock futures. They have already started this in Bitcoin as well. Coinbase, the leading exchange, is also listed on the NASDAQ, so it is a listed company. Now, crypto advantages, already talked about it a little bit, but let's refresh. Cryptos can potentially be used to hedge against inflation. That's one of the very powerful arguments in favor of crypto. Why? Because there's a limited supply of crypto. They call this limit is 21 million. The way the algorithm is written, but many people question that algorithm can be tweaked to increase that 21 million too. But the government can print money, they can cause inflation. So one of the arguments if we use crypto, that will have a dampening impact on the inflation. Cryptos can offer financial independence. In 2021, strange, El Salvador is a emerging country, a developing poor country, became the first country to accept Bitcoin as a parallel official currency to the US dollar. So they have US dollar. Many of the Latin American countries, because their currency is worthless, so they want to park their value in some currency which are stable. Now, Ukraine is accepting donation in cryptos to fund its defense against Russia. What are some of the challenges? It's a very high volatility. If you look at the Bitcoin, there are 50 to 100% swings in 2021. Prices $10 in the morning, $100 in the during noon, and bongs down to $5. So this type of volatility is a something that is not desirable for something to be acted as a currency. Vast amount of energy is needed to run the complex code they underpin cryptos. Some countries like China are banning them because of this high energy use. Some economies are developing forms of digital asset over which they do have control. And one of the example, I think that's going to happen, is called central bank digital currencies. So you no longer will see this ringgit currency, it will be done, electronically. So it will be electronic footprint, and that it is going in that direction. So here, the volatility part that I talked about, look, the swing, it is happening in a very short period of time. And in order for anything to act as a currency, it has to be stable. The value should be retained. Now, there are 9 issues or priority, you call this, when we deal with crypto world, okay? First thing, we need to curb criminality, because there's a debate that the cryptos are used because they're unknown. Nobody knows who's channeling fund, so it promotes criminal activities. The anonymity of cryptocurrency transactions appeal to criminals and bad actors, launder money, fund terrorism, fuel corruption, etc. I do not know. I think Shafina was in the United States. There was a big crisis. This oil supply chain, the refinery was attacked by some people. Many people said that they're based in Russia, and the money, the ransom was paid with this crypto, about $5 million. But later on, the CIA, the U.S. Secret Service, they recovered this money. So from there, it's my understanding, they call this something, independent, nobody knows. Probably it is not. They really found this person, they nailed him down, and they got the money back. Now, it is a difficult problem to solve, this terrorism. Prior to cryptos, cash was used to carry out those crimes. Possibility of monitoring crypto transaction, but it would go against the principles of privacy and ownership. What could reduce its acceptance? The very reason crypto came in, acceptance came in, because it's unknown. Nobody knows. I do not know Shafina, she doesn't know me, but we do transact with each other. But if you go through a formal banking channel, because there will be electronic footprint, exactly know who is getting the money and what. Even if you do the hundi system, which is the informal, somebody knows the identity of the other party. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Now, CBDC or central bank digital currencies have the opposite problem. Central bank and governments could track transactions, reduce the crime, and increase the tax revenue. Because one of these called tax evasion and tax avoidance, the concept, in order to avoid paying taxes, you pay or you transact in currency, because there is no paper trail. The tax authority can also catch you if there is an invoice and you pay against it. Regulate digital assets. In most countries, cryptos are permitted, but not seen as legal tender. Trading is not regulated, and cryptos are treated as just another asset, what makes scams to increase. In Malaysia, I mean, even from the Sharia standpoint, they have taken the stand that this is an asset, a regulated asset. Important questions would be, what is the optimal regulatory framework for digital assets to prosper in, and how can regulators could reduce its work in a space to benefit all of them? So this is a big work going on in every country. The question they're asking whether we should allow it. In Bangladesh, my country of my birth, does not allow it. Many countries has banned it completely. No, because our investor base is not that sophisticated. They understand all this nitty-gritty complexity of this crypto. Major global regulators such as Security Exchange Commission and FCA in UK would like cryptos to be regulated, but that will make cryptos lose its popularity, because the very reason it became popular, the anonymity part. Third, cut energy use. Mining, because it's a proof of work, we call this. Mining cryptocurrencies is computationally very intensive. Bitcoin consumes more energy than Norway industry. Ethereum adds 62 kilograms of carbon dioxide per transaction, so it's polluting environment as well. These high rates stem mainly from the choice of consensus mechanism, the way the algorithm works mathematically. Bitcoin uses proof of work system. All miners must agree on the computer solution to verify a transaction. So depending on the chain, if there's a 10,000 miners working, 10,000 have to, say okay. But every time you do this, you're doing electronically, and that consumes energy. Now, shifting to an alternative consensus mechanism, that another algorithm came out, is called proof of stake. Now, the proof of stake, miners compete instead on the basis of their holdings of the coin, rather than stamping or verifying or validating each of the steps of the transaction. Ethereum just moved to this platform. It's called proof of stake in 2022. Regulation, taxation, risk, disincentivized POS. So what they're doing, so there is a regulation issue, the taxation issue that goes against this proof of stake thing. Again, if you ask me further, I do not know, because I do not know how the mechanism works. More research is needed on how incentive sections can reduce energy needs. Now, the four, speed up transactions. If cryptos want to replace existing system of payment, they will need to challenge retail and commercial banking system, settlement system like SWIFT. Yeah, I mean, if you are not caught in between because somebody says, oh, Kabir Hassan is a terrorist, because your name combination, if you get stuck, then it is sent back to you and ask a bunch of other questions. It happens to me a lot because my name combination. But if your name is like, the Indonesians don't face this problem because they can catch this a Muslim name or not, because they have this cultural name, Indrawati. But this is not a typical Muslim name, but Muhammad, Kabir, Hassan, all the dangerous combination. Traditional system process payments in seconds on quadrillions dollars per year, versus Bitcoin transaction can take tens of minutes and size is about 1 billion to 2 billion. So you see the comparison, the volume of trade and so on. Too slow for global market needs. The way the state of technology of the cryptocurrency is very slow to effectuate or to make it easier for the global trade. Many cryptos can handle large volumes of transactions, but they are a centralized cryptocurrency and less private than Bitcoin. Then again, it defeats the purpose of having crypto to begin with. Volatility makes it more complicated. Bypassing complexity of the blockchain technology is needed to solve the speed problem. Manage volatility. Cryptocurrencies can experience massive swings. The reasons for the volatility can be immaturity, decentralized trading, and limited supply. Some of them, like iron, titanium, collapsed from $51 to less than a cent in 24 hours. Same thing happened my student here. He said this, sir, before I made a trade, whatever the algorithm they used, and in the morning he hoped that it will be double, but his entire money was gone. Somebody swing it other way. So I do not understand, but so this is very risky. I told them, next time when you go to bed, don't play this bet anymore. Actually, his wife was complaining to me, your student does this, so I did him some intellectual beating, no more. So I promise that he's not going to play crypto anymore. Based, something like, I always say this, people say, if you enjoy, for enjoyment do a lot of things, right? So some people like to play stock market. If you enjoy it, play it. But don't make it an investment decision making. Just little bit money you play, you make some money, you happy, you lose some money, you are sad. But you enter savings and you do this, it's not really advisable. You really need a full-time professional money manager to manage your money. And we don't have to worry about that much. We are professors. We don't make that much in money, right? We are taught to, what's the word? Simple living and high thinking. Because the money we get, that's what we can afford, right? Simple living. Options and futures also smooth price path, but the introduction of these instruments for cryptocurrencies has not reduced volatility. If you work in the investment area research, so we have created all these derivatives in order to contain the swings in the stock market, but similar instrument in the cryptocurrency does not work the same way. Now, boost security, number 6. If the electronic keys is very important to cryptocurrency wallet are lost, we are all forgetful. You forget your password. For some reason, if you forget your key, you lose everything. There is no way to retrieve your password or recreate a new password. Now, estimates suggest that up to 25% of all Bitcoins mined is irretrievable, is lost. Virtual rates are very common. In 2014, the Japan-based Bitcoin exchange called MTGOX was hacked and $473 million worth of Bitcoins were stolen. Stolen means it's gone. There's no way to recover it. Researchers need to explore how cryptocurrency can better resist cyber attacks. CBDC, central bank digital currency, should be more secure because it's a secure platform, the government behind it, and it's regulated. Now comes fees. It's exorbitant fee. Fee is very high. There are fees associated to cryptocurrencies transactions. The person making the transaction sets the amount. Because, remember, it's the way everybody has to validate this. So if I do not validate, it doesn't go to the next one. So depending on the demand, supply, and urgency, I can put the price on this thing. And that is also a detriment for this crypto to be universally accepted. Miners want to work on those cryptocurrencies with the highest fees. Competition drives these fees. Fee spikes are very common when many transactions are in the queue needing to be verified. Again, urgency issue. You want to go bypass this line, you have to go to the other line. The premium versus standard delivery, in life. If you want to send something express, so you have to do it one way. If you regular delivery, it takes a longer time. Researchers need to examine how to control and smooth such spikes. They should set out guidelines how users choose their fees. Miners should be encouraged through regulation and incentives to add transactions to the next block on the basis of timestamp and not the fee. Again, you are bringing regulation and it's anathema to this crypto war, right? You want to be decentralized finance. Now, educate users. We learn by social media, Facebook. A 2021 study by the FCA of London found that 78% of UK consumers have heard of cryptocurrencies. Few know how they work. Around 10% believe they had consumer protection for their crypto holdings. It is no consumer protection. More than 40% relied on information from social media. Ownership was concentrated in younger people, because they want to try new things out, they're revolutionary and so on. Most finance experts lack training in the intricacies of fintech. Universities have just offering modules on cryptos and blockchain. Media coverage tend to be negative. It focuses on lost wallets, criminality, volatility, and energy use. But there are also good part of it. But the media never picks up the good part. So that creates a negativism about this crypto world. Few merchants accept cryptos, leave them as speculative instruments, and educators should do more to improve customers' understanding and build trust. Finally, protect privacy. Central bank digital currencies allow governments to see all our transactions. Decentralized cryptos provide privacy to users. Research is urgently needed on the willingness of individuals to trade privacy for convenience in their financial transactions. The first step should be baseline service. So, I want to give up some of my privacy so that I have a smoother transaction. Now, the question is privacy versus speed or acceptance or usability. There is an optimal balance somewhere, and more research needs to be done in this area. Since 2020, China is road testing its yuan, is it central bank digital currency. The People's Bank of China has been randomly gifting customers yuan, which they can use to purchase goods and services. So this is sort of a baseline survey. Before you start using something, do a market testing. And China has been doing it. More work on all of these aspects will help governments and the public decide what the future of money should look like. So next, what I did is recently completed study what research has been done in this area. And this is under the second review in a journal. So we have a bunch of Indian, I discovered them on the internet. It's just some this Devidatta Patnaik, he is from an Indian state who is neighbors of Bangladesh, like Telangana, its neighbors in Thailand, so something like that. But I was helping when he was finishing PhD. So this guy has technical knowledge, know-how to understand. But also there is a method that has been used very extensively, including me. It's called a bibliometric analysis. 20 years ago or 30 years ago, when we did our PhD, we had to go to the library, journal after journal. We spent 6 months. But that time can be reduced to 1 month because of this technology that has been developed. So what we do in this thing, we look at what has been done on the different aspect of the crypto world. So if you want to do a research, and what are the things that has not been researched yet? What will be a suitable topic for you? So the context, the introduction of cryptocurrency in the form of Bitcoin in 2009, already said, created a buzz in the financial markets, which postures existential risk for few traditional functions of finance. Because if crypto really everybody, depending on who is, if more and more people are using crypto, that's going to have reduce the acceptability of the regular way of doing business, right? The way we go to, write a check or send electronic money, so that's going to be changed. Cryptocurrency is a digital asset or digital money which uses distributed ledger or blockchain or any other technology in order to enable a secure transaction among the traders. Liquidity is a primary indicator of a successful cryptocurrency. And I have shown you that liquidity is a big issue, right? It takes a longer time to complete a crypto transaction. We have found Bitcoin as the most liquid compared against 456 other cryptocurrencies that exist in the market right now. Despite constraints like security, inefficiency, technological glitch, volatility, and the absence of regulatory mechanism, the crypto market has gained and huge support from traders. The growing interest among the investors toward the cryptocurrencies has undoubtedly impacted academic research as well. There are some journals even came out in order to support the growing research in this area. Journal of Experimental Finance and there is another recently came out about 6 months ago. I was in Italy. They introduced this new journal by Elsevier. Now, the risk that is associated with crypto investment has been studied extensively by many scholars in the past. Cryptos with large market capitalization contribute to the risk diffusion. On the other hand, Yang, 2019, same guy, has provided evidence for the price momentum based on asset price anomalies in the market. On a similar note, several formal studies attempt to provide a vivid perspective about the crypto literature. However, many of them either focus on Bitcoin as a single currency, not entire universe of crypto world, or present the analysis of blockchain related concept. So here we say that our study contributes in that direction. Most of the former reviews have a concentric focus on blockchain technology and Bitcoin. Unfortunately, there is a dearth of scientific endeavor aligned towards a comprehensive analysis of the economic domain. Now, what are the objective and research questions in this paper? The primary aim of our study is to analyze the trends and pattern of literary works underlying the subject area of cryptocurrency or digital currency. We present a distinctive overview of the past research and formulate the future research agenda. We need to go to the future, need to know our past and present. In order to achieve our broader objective, we apply bibliometrics, which emerged as one of the most trending methodologies for analyzing a big chunk of literature. The results would be useful to researchers, we believe, in similar field, along with scholars and academicians, for articulating future research in cryptocurrencies. To achieve the above objectives, these are the three research questions we have. Number one, what are the current trends in cryptocurrency research? Research question two, what topics frequently feature in the research domain? Research question three, what is the direction for future research? What is the methodology we are using? The initial search for the study articles is carried out in the Scopus in early May 2021. Now, that could be a criticism, but Scopus is the largest database compared to Web of Science. Scopus provides better coverage. We choose a broader search term central to our conceptual view. The search span is limited to the period 2009 and 2020. Part of the reason we take 2008 starting point of this cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin. We adopt a 9-level filtering strategy detailed in Table 1. The search string includes all important keywords related to cryptocurrency, search in the article titles, keywords, abstracts. Implementation strategy resulted in 559 articles for further review and analysis. So here is the sort of filtering step one. So we have the keywords, these are the, now you may say, why did you use other keywords? So we need to find a common course so that it becomes, a scientific study. We rejected 0 when you use, for example, cryptocurrency, crypto, digital currency, peer-to-peer money, Bitcoins, decentralized money, decentralized currency, decentralized finance, digital coins, Ethereum. We do not reject anyone. We accept a paper that has been 13,691. Then we apply our second filter, publication period 2009 to 2020. We reject 2615, the number goes down, the accepted one. Third filtering, subject area, decision science, business, management and accounting, economics, econometrics and finance, social sciences, we dropped another 7,000 plus, left with 3292. Why we did this filtering? Because crypto as a technological development, this does not, fall in our jurisdiction, in the area that we do our research, right? Business and finance. Step 4, we document type. We look at only articles and reviews. That drops down 1573 and you're left to 1719. Source type journal. If we look at journal, we drop another 1700. Publication stage, final. So we are not looking at in a working paper that has been published in academic journal through a referring process. That drops another 100, get 1600. Language, English only. There are other languages also write about crypto. We ignore them. That drops on 101. We left with 1499. And then we also import some quality filters. And this quality filters is coming A star, A or B from the AAGBS journal ranking. And that drops 966 articles. And then you're left with 563. Now, relevance of articles, reading titles, abstract and keywords. So even after that, we have to drop something because some articles just get into this thing. You know, you'll see that problem if you do your Google Scholar search. There will see article not related because there's a name combination. It just creeps into your, so we have to do this. And finally, we got 559 articles. Once you do this, then we use our research methodology. Yeah, okay. It's good. So we present the bibliometric of our cryptocurrency in the form of a descriptive and network analysis. We are going to show you a series of figure one summary conceptual. We just showed you the conceptual framework, how to come up with 559 articles. Our descriptive analysis include total number of publication, citation per publication. We present productivity and impact in the form of H index, G index, M index, and I'm sure our Dean Jamal probably ask you what is your H index, D index when the promotion comes in, right? Because he had to convince the top admin because they're asking him to provide that number, unfortunately. So we have the H index. What does H index mean? So it's the H number of publication with at least H citation. So let's say you have H index 10. So you have at least 10 articles which has been cited at least 10 times. So that is a sort of quality indicators how well your research is accepted. Then you have G index and you have M index. And there are other types of index people are coming up with, okay? I don't know whether you see it. So here we have 3 research questions. So we have analysis, we have methods, we have tools, and we have outcome. So first, we look at the data retrieval, which I've shown you using the 9 different steps. Then we do some manual checking. Then Scopus and MS, we put this in the Excel file because you want to do more further work on this thing. And we restrict our article to 559. The second one, descriptive analysis, citation frequency, and count occurrence, then Excel and R Studios. So by the way, one of the beauty of this type of research is that 70% of your paper is written by the software. The software gives you, turns out all the tables and figures and so on. But the last 30% takes a lot of work. You need to sit down, you have to go through 559 articles, and you have to brainstorm. So that's why it is not a one-person job, really. It is not, conceptual, it's a very labor intensive, that 30% work. Now, finally, you have the network analysis. You have the co-occurrence, Excel, both viewer. So this something we're going to talk about. Now, research manager I talk. So results, if you look at, interestingly, look, the number of articles that is growing. There is no article in 2011 and 12. So start with our starting year, 2010, 11 and 12, there is nothing. 2013, only one article, 14. So you see, the majority of the article is happening 2018, 19, 20. It's a huge number of articles, and there could be a corona impact there as well, because people didn't have anything else to do the right paper, right? 2019, 180, and 2021, 239. Now then, trends in publication of cryptocurrency research, our research question 1. That's what I wanted to see. Cryptocurrency research shows highest citation for the period 2015 to 2020, so 2018, with 2000 leading with the highest score, or average. ACY stands for average citation per year. So if you look at average citation per year, 2431. So these are some of these descriptive statistics, the way this literature is growing in the academic area. Now, if you look at which are the journals, so let's say from this thing you are interested in writing a paper. What are the journals, your target journals? These are the 9 target journals published the highest number of crypto-related research, finance research letters, economic letters. By the way, these are A and A-star level journals. Research in International Business and Finance, International Financial Analysis, Applied Economics, Quarterly Review Economics, Finance, Technology, Forecasting, and Social Change. Actually, this paper that I'm talking about, it is under second review in this technological forecasting and social change, and pray for me. It has been going like for almost a year. Now, who are the top-cited authors? So these are the names. You have the Urquhart, you have the Chia Fry, Bori et al. And you'll be surprised, many of these people are coming from, not from the United States and outside the United States. So again, if you're interested in, so pick Urquhart and see what he has done. You may even communicate with him, and he may even suggest a research topic that you can start working on. You know, the academic world, one of these things in the West, I can tell you, the reason I love living in the West, because there is a free flow of ideas, exchange of ideas. Even if you write an email to a Nobel laureate, he's going to respond to you. They will not think, oh, if the question is relevant, you know, of course, you're not going to do buddy-buddy kind of thing. You are asking a relevant question. Maybe you are referring to one of his article or data set or something, and he's going to respond. So that's the part I like. But in our part, my country, Bangladesh, we try to pick it to close to our heart so that nobody can see it. You know, there's a saying, the knowledge extrapolates or grows exponentially if you circulate this. And that is also teaching of our religion. Now, Eli Bori, affiliate to the Lebanese American University, as I told you, outside the United States, emerged as the top contributor with 26 articles, followed by David Robert, affiliated to the Montpellier Business School with 23 articles. So you can also see where these people are coming from, which university. So from the marketing perspective, I mean, this bibliometric study also can tell you within Malaysia, who are sitting in which university, which college, and so on. So there's some of the tools you can use in order to quality control kind of thing, or at least advertise your situation to the others. Now, what are the top schools or universities that do research in this area? Again, Montpellier Business School, Holy Spirit University of Catholic. By the way, this is wrong. I have to check this. This is not the USA. This is the second university that you see. They're somewhere in Spain. So people are working on this area, very, very unknown university. Because I never heard about this university. Have you heard about this university, Holy Spirit University? So somewhere in Spain. Now, cryptocurrency research and overview, scientific works. So given all this thing explained, our results in a layman's term, at the best we can, we connect with other research. So scientific works on cryptocurrency started in the year 2008 with the pseudonym Santoshi, publication entitled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Actually, it's a very small article, 8 to 10 pages. Nakamoto explained how a peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would work without the support of a financial intermediary. The seminal paper explains the working style of Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency introduced to the world of digital money. And Bitcoin is a system of electronic transaction without relying on trust. During the initial years, research predominantly zoomed on the limitations of cryptocurrencies and the dangers associated trading in these assets using an open source network, like problems of decentralized finance. Then another author, Benjamin, in 2014, commented legality of Bitcoin compared against mobile payments in a decentralized network. Then Dostoy and Schatz provide insights about the vulnerability of Bitcoin misuse for laundering money and financing terror. And Baumier 2015 professed on an electronic payment system using Bitcoin as it is private and fragile. So these are basically just analyzing the different literature. So we have DEMA 569. So we pick up the most relevant literature and you give a sort of rendition what those papers talk about. Now, the most important part of this. So this is the 70% that we talked about. This 30% took us many months to finish. So what is the thematic structure of cryptocurrency research? What we can cluster it, okay, type of research that has been done. There are 10 clusters that we have found. Cluster 1, cryptocurrency as a tool for risk management. Many people want to use crypto is a portfolio risk management, is another asset within the portfolio. Cluster 2, decentralization of crypto transaction using blockchain and fintech. Cluster 3, regulated digital framework of cryptocurrencies. Chapter 4, market efficiency of cryptocurrencies. Chapter 5, pricing efficiency of cryptocurrency. Cluster 6, price clustering and liquidity in crypto transaction. Cluster 7, cryptocurrency as an investment asset. Cluster 8, portfolio diversification using cryptocurrency. Trading volume, return and volatility of cryptocurrencies. Role of information in the volatility of crypto prices. Now then, I look, one of the beauty, this boss viewer that can generate all this graph. So the first one, cryptocurrency tool for risk management. Cluster 1, panel A, frequency occurring themes. For example, I don't know if I can read this. I can't even read mine. Or the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, these are the two. Then you have behavioral finances. So all these things that you see here, the bigger one, this will be used more. So this is the panel A, frequently occurring themes, and panel B, frequently cited themes. So cited themes, uncertainty, the economic policy uncertainty, quantitative regression. There's another overuse technique, quantitative parallelogram, and so on. Now, second one, this decentralization crypto transaction using blockchain and fintech. Again, using this boss viewer, I'm creating this graph to give you a visualization how this area is being used. Number 3, regulatory and digital framework of cryptocurrencies. So you have the digital currency, virtual currency. Again, the first part is frequently occurring themes, and the second one is frequently cited themes. Now the fourth one is market efficiency in cryptocurrency. Again, long run. So this is found econometric technique time series, long range dependence, efficient market hypothesis, something that we're familiar with, are also being used in cryptocurrency asset as well. Now pricing efficiency and of cryptocurrencies, exchange rate, speculation. So typical thing that we teach in our investment class also being picked up in this cluster 5. Cluster 6, price, cluster and liquidity cryptocurrencies. You know, this area, if you look at the background of the researcher, most of them is some sort of technical knowledge. And many of them comes from physics or engineering background, STEM we call, science, engineering, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Then you have the cryptocurrency as an investment asset. Now we're asking, is it medium exchange, whether it is an asset class, investment, and so on. Now, cluster 8, portfolio diversification using cryptocurrency. Now, what are the techniques? So this is basically an application of time series analysis. So you have the time series data, use different fancy time series technique. And fortunately, econometrics has also become very easy. If the software, you took the right software, it tells you what to do and not to do. Now, number 9, trading volume, return, and volatility of cryptocurrency. So this is another cluster. And cluster 10, role of information, the volatility of crypto prices. So you have the Google trend, you have the investor attention. This is some of the behavioral finance concept that you can use also in cryptocurrency. Now, the future research direction, we find most studies are quantitative, creating scope for more conceptual and theoretical models. So these are all number crunching. Now we really need to go to a theory building, any idea, because that part is very much missing. And these people who do technical work, very often they really don't think what it is leading to. We solicit empirical research, especially from emerging markets targeting investor education on various issues concerning crypto investment. Like, remember I talked about what? Ecuador, is it Ecuador? Yeah, they are using crypto as their currency. But look at, they have very low investor knowledge. People really don't understand. So it is very risky really. It can really ruin the entire financial system if somebody attacks your system electronically. We suggest future investigation examining the role of cryptocurrency as an asset class. We suggest the introduction of studies related to investor sentiment using social media platform. Research could investigate investors' perception about pricing, regulation, volatility, risk, and return. There are research gaps in trading platform efficiency uses of blockchain, a smart contract system. Researchers could emphasize the future role of Fintech. Future research could facilitate intellectual debates on the provision of qualitative support to implement governance models. So, conclusion, but I'm not done without telling an Islamic perspective of it. Actually, we just finished a paper with Aisha. You probably listened to his presentation. Aisha and one of our buddies, Ismail Mohammed. I don't know him, but I know Aisha very well. So here we look at crypto from an Islamic perspective. So we have Sharia scholar, 2 of you, or you came. 2 Sharia scholars. Let's see whether they agree. So the presentation of this thing, quickly, I'm not going to hold you that long. So introduction. Cryptocurrencies, again, it's a repetition. A digital payment system that does not use financial institutions to verify transactions. The first type of crypto introduced to the world is Bitcoin. It was in 2009. In cryptocurrencies, a distributed public ledger on blockchain is used to record all transactions held by cryptocurrency holders. Using a process called mining, units of cryptocurrencies are created. In this mining process, computer power is utilized to resolve complex and complicated mathematical issues that will lead to creation of coins. And cryptographic wallets are used by currency holders to store the coins, and it can be bought from brokers. It is imperative to note that the currency holders in this case does not possess any tangible form of coins, but rather they possess a key that allows them to transfer, record a unit of measure from one person to the another without the involvement of a trusted third party. Now, there are different types of cryptocurrencies. I told you there are 2,000 plus in my initial part of my presentation. Bitcoin is the very first one. Then you have Ethereum, a cryptocurrency which is developed 2015 and is offered in its own blockchain platform called Ether. And we have Litecoin, is a peer-to-peer internet currency that allows instant, near zero cost payments to anyone in the world. Founded 2011. Then you have the Ripple, is a distributed ledger system that may be used to trace different types of transactions, which is not limited to cryptocurrency, which is found 2012. All coins is shorthand for alternative coins, are collectively referred to non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, and examples of all kinds are Ethereum. So actually, Bitcoin, since it's the first one, everybody talks of Bitcoin. Actually, I have a paper which I shared to look at Bitcoin itself, the Sharia parameters of this Bitcoin. But all coin, everything beyond Bitcoin, and these are the huge in number. Now, what is the Sharia and cryptocurrency comes into here? The general legal rule applicable to muamalat matter under Islamic law is derived from the legal maxim. The original premise of things is that of its permissibility. So you know this in terms of ibadah, in terms of muamalat, in ibadah everything is forbidden unless it is. In muamalat everything is allowed unless it is. You know this legal maxim that talk. Let me say it again. In the matter of ibadah, everything is forbidden until it is allowed, right? In matter of muamalat, everything is allowed until it is forbidden. Okay. Now, the cryptocurrency is a recent innovation, and therefore, in light of this legal maxim, there is a need for the competent Sharia scholars to deliberate on the permissibility of this innovation, as without opinion, it would be difficult for Muslim communities, if I am an investor, to know whether it is legal or not legal. Huh? Oh, slide. You see, technology is not sometimes misbehaving with me. Therefore, in recent years, numerous conferences, like one we had 2 days ago, and meeting of Sharia scholars have been held in different parts of the world to determine the legal position of cryptocurrencies from Islamic perspective. From these gatherings, it is understood that determining the legal position of using cryptocurrencies from Islamic perspective is not a matter which is simple to decide, as there is diversity of opinion among scholars in this regard. So what was the deliberation in this? So at the end of the 2 days, don't they do a communique that this is what I have come to a conclusion? What was the major conclusion? I'm talking about your Sharia conference. Say 1 or 2 resolutions they have made came out of this deliberation 2 days.
That yes, that's what you refer to. That's what the bigger reason. Every single thing is simple. So yeah, unless once we speak to there is any things that people didn't really so at first place it's considered to be slow. Yeah, so in terms of currency, in terms of and also from other than ibadah, everything was here to be slow. So, but towards the end, according to him, so because of what we can hear, the stable. Because of that, they not considered so far for the time being, they not endorse the cryptocurrency considered currency. But according to another scholars, for instance, Bakam, he said doesn't matter because that is the behavior of the currency up and down. Yeah, it is based on supply and demand. According to the loss, cryptocurrency complies with the sharing.
So you have two opinions. So what is your opinion? You're also a scholar too.
Not a scholar yet, so I'm still so
Okay, you know, this is, first of all, it's a technology, it's a new thing. So there are two views right now. One said it haram, the other one said halal. We really cannot say haram or halal. So you really, before you gave a comprehensive fatwa or definitive fatwa, we really need to see his behavior for few more years, okay? Because if you give a fatwa, it might stifle its growth, right? It may not find the final position because you know all the 9 different things that we talked about crypto. With time, we may resolve all of this problem, and the volatility issue could be resolved. The other parts, energies could be resolved. New technology would come up. So it's very tricky part. But we need to keep talking about. But I have what I did. My position, I have a series of questions. So I have a question and answer that I'm going to show you one by one. But before I do this, you know the Arabic term which is used to describe currency is fulus, right? Or nukat. It is said that translating money to classic Arabic without sacrificing modern moneyness characteristics is challenging. Money can be defined as anything which is used as payment for goods and services or debt payment, Mira and Larbani. At the initial stage of discussion that was carried out to determine the Sharia validity of paper currency, we have also debated on this thing, like fiat currency. There were two divergent views of Sharia scholars. One group of Sharia scholars banned completely the use of paper currency on the ground that they believe that Islam only allows gold and silver. So they are it's called textualist. You know, in the United Supreme Court say they do not go beyond the text of the holy book. While the second group of scholars are of the view that money is not limited only to gold and silver. So the istihad application to the new thing that is coming. Now, the permissibility of cryptocurrency from Islamic perspective, there are a number of issues to keep in mind. Issue number one, cryptocurrencies do not have any commercial value. It doesn't. Crypto. Can you? It's a computer algorithm, some sort of digit. Issue two, cryptocurrency are not backed by any central government. It's a decentralized finance. Issue number three, the suitability of cryptocurrency as money from the Islamic perspective. Issue number four, cryptocurrencies hinders in attaining maqasid of Sharia or objective Islamic law. Issue number five, encrypted digital money has no intrinsic value as money. You know, the very reason these classical Sharia scholars like gold and silver, it itself has a value. And one of the reasons that they did not endorse initially paper currency because itself does not have any value. So Sharia scholars have deliberated on the permissibility of cryptocurrencies from Islamic perspective and their various reasons why they have given their opinions on the matter. It would not be wrong to state that the majority of the Sharia scholars have viewed cryptocurrencies as impermissible from Sharia perspective, while some scholars have also considered them as Sharia compliant. Not only this, there is also a third group of scholars who is neutral in their view as they're silent about legal position of cryptocurrencies in Sharia. Similar way, when the debate started of the paper currency, one group totally against it, the other group in favor, the other one kept silent. I really do not know. Now let's look at a number of questions and try to answer, and then you draw your conclusion. Can cryptocurrencies be considered money from Islamic perspective? According to Dawud Bakr, it is. The other groups have said it is not, right? So question number 1, does cryptocurrency have a measurement of value? Can you measure this? Huh? Oh. Can you measure it? Like if you look at a $50 bill, it's a ringgit, and $1, you can measure it, right? So 51 is a 50 times to the 1. Now, can you do this measurement? The value is cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, fluctuates and is not stable enough to measure true value of the goods and services. Now, you may counter me and say that same problem happens with Malaysian ringgit as well. Today, I go to the market, I can buy 1 apple. Tomorrow, I need 2 ringgit to buy the same apple. You can make the same argument, but that problem exists with the current form of cryptocurrency. Number 2, does cryptocurrency function as a medium of exchange? So first one is medium of exchange. The first one, unit of measure, first one. Second one is medium of exchange. Generally, no. Only if cryptocurrencies are accepted by both parties. So let's say I have cryptocurrencies, okay? I want to buy something from Shafina. Shafina is not in the network. So it's meaningless to her, to Shafina. She's not going to accept this crypto because she is not within the network. So the major purpose or intention of holding cryptocurrencies is for speculation, while using them as money requires people's recognition in treating them as a form of payment. Everyone agrees. Every Malaysian will agree a Malaysian ringgit, this bill or the coin is accepted a legal tender. But you cannot say the same thing about the crypto. Moreover, cryptocurrencies cannot be used as a means of payment similar to paper money, as I explained before. Credit cards or other tools established in the current financial system in a large scale. Therefore, lack of a mechanism to accept cryptocurrencies as a method of payment does not fulfill the function of the medium of exchange recognized Islamic Sharia. So money has basically 3 functions. It's a standard of measure, unit, and second is a medium of exchange, and the third one is store of value. So let's look at the store of value. Are cryptocurrencies a store of value? We say no. Why? It is beneficial if a currency can reliably maintain its relative worth over time and function as a store of value. However, due to high price fluctuations and ambiguity in changes in value, encrypted money is neither a store of value nor a repository of wealth. So when I say I have $1 million, he's a billionaire, it means that his wealth is stored in that currency. We cannot say the same thing about cryptocurrency. Nevertheless, cryptocurrencies have a value similar to precious metals, such as both are limited in supply. For crypto is 21 million unit. For precious metal, gold or silver, there's a limited supply. And because this, you can even pinpoint, if you use the science, how many tons of gold are available in the world, right? Unless you create those gold in the laboratory, you can create gold, right? Using chemical mechanism, you can do. But I'm talking the natural gold are limited. Number 4, does cryptocurrencies gain concentration as a standard for deferred payment? The answer is no. There is no mechanism that back up the wealth held in cryptocurrencies where any breakdown in the system or any other technical reason faced would not compensate the crypto holders on their wealth. So I'm saying it can be stolen, or you lost your key, then you lost your entire. So there is no really mechanism to do this. So that's why probably one of the funders, Gorar, because this is very uncertain. That really creeps into this analysis. Most common cryptocurrency transactions, just as Bitcoin, are used for speculative trades rather than using it as money. So you cannot use your Bitcoin to pay for a pizza, right? Last night I went to drink teheteri at 11 o'clock and coconut. but I paid with Malaysian ringgit. I said, hey man, take my crypto. It's not possible. So these are the practical realities prevent us to accept this as a wholehearted money. So even the governments are left with the ability to trace cryptocurrency transactions to the person owning the wallet. They cannot protect the right on the wealth of crypto holders and thus cannot be used as the standard for deferred payments. Next question. Does cryptocurrency acquire penetration and accepted? The answer is no. Very reason I said it is doubtful that cryptocurrency, contemporary cryptocurrency, have the ability to replace fiat currency issued and backed by government bodies all around the world. Because of its high volatility, people are reluctant to use it as regular money, but rather treat crypto as a form of speculative investment. Moreover, due to the inaccessibility of cryptocurrency technology at a wide level among the population, doubt the likelihood the acceptance as a total replacement and penetration would be costly. More significantly, legal acceptance is superior to all the other conditions to become a medium of exchange. For instance, Egypt, Iraq, Qatar, Oman, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Bangladesh, China have all banned cryptocurrency. 42 other countries, including Algeria, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Bolivia, have implicitly banned digital currency by putting restrictions on the ability for banks to deal with the crypto or prohibiting cryptocurrency exchange. You know, in Bangladesh, there is a law of foreign currency control act. So you cannot really carry for dollar in Bangladesh in the openly, because this against the law, because the dollar you have, you need to put to the central bank or the banking system there. I do not have the law in Malaysia, but I'm saying that the legal tender is the key buzzword here. The very reason why, everybody accepts this ringgit, because the government says it is a legal tender, it can be used in order to settle your payment, settle your debt, and so on. Finally, are cryptocurrencies under supervision of the government? The answer is no, because that's the reason cryptocurrency was created, right? To bypass all the regulation. Cryptocurrency is a digital form of money based on blockchain technology that has no authority over any regulatory body in issuing them as well as controlling them. This decentralized digital form of currency is distributed across many computers. It's a computer, right? Connected, allowing them to exist outside the control of government and central authorities. But I want to bring something from our prophetic time. During the prophet time, it was not obligatory for any government body to supervise money. It was not really centralized like the central bank and so on. But what happened is the maqasid or the greater common good, later on the Sharia scholar did what? Nevertheless, consider the public interest or maslaha point of view, customary practice in the user's money, it is significant for a regulatory body to have control over the medium of exchange. So somebody has to stamp that this is a medium of exchange, you can accept it. So based on the basis of everything, all the questions that I have, I do not know how to explain it very nicely, but these are the questions. Again, this is the way you fatwa making. You ask questions, you deliberate this, you come up different dalil, of the Islamic jurisprudence, and you come to a conclusion. So our conclusion is in between. The findings of our research indicate that even though cryptocurrencies has emerged as an alternative or a contemporary currency to the paper currency, which is used today, it has gained acceptance in some parts of the world. There are Sharia reservations to consider them as Sharia compliant form of currency. The study concludes the existing way in which cryptocurrencies are used in the world does not fulfill it as measurement of value or standard of value, medium of exchange, store of value, standard for deferred payment. We cannot store your wealth into this, mode accepted and regulated form of money by the government. Therefore, unless cryptocurrencies can fulfill these conditions to protect the general public interest, it would not be prudent to declare them as Sharia compliant forms of currency right now. I think many Sharia scholars agree on this point, right? It is not a currency. But the question is whether it is a financial asset. That's the thing Sharia scholars is deliberating on. That's my understanding. I'm not a Sharia scholar. It is hoped that the findings of our research will assist to understand the reasons why cryptocurrencies could not be considered as a form of currency from Islamic perspective. So our finding is very close to majority finding that cryptocurrency is not money. The question is whether it is a financial asset. That's why the scholars have to come together, deliberate, and come to a conclusion. That is all, my dear friends. Thank you very much. Any question?
Security of finance, which I think the two of them is can go in the same direction. What to ensure is secure for the pace of the time security transaction. What's your view on this? Two things. I mean, are we actually heading towards to ensure that the efficiency of the transaction or the speed of the transaction, or is it more crucial for the security? In my view, I actually go for the security.
You say, I think you're right, because security is very important, because this is the electronic thing, right? We do not know what it is. But at least Malaysian ringgit, I can touch and feel it, right? Now, the security part, because anybody can attack my system, and this thing is to look like this. Let's say I'm giving this circular, and it could become rectangular. So when it changes this thing, it also changes meaning, like mining. And the mining is a algorithm. And another thing related to this thing, so this is also created an inequality, because not everybody is, yeah, that I'm talking about this coding or that, so what I'm looking for, you know, this technologically sophisticated to understand, right? And actually, I would say the majority are not. Even though I'm a professor, I told you all these things. If you ask me a different question, I will not be able to answer because I do not know what is in the black box. So it is creating a space for these people who has this knowledge to begin with. Who are the miners? I cannot be a miner. I can, but I have to spend time and energy to learn this and then become a miner. So speed, I would say, if you want to use currency, speed is more important. Of course, same thing could happen counterfeit Malaysian ringgit, right? But there's a check and balance, or the system has developed that doesn't happen that often. But it might happen very often. You know, the hackers can hack the entire system. And another thing is that if you lose your money in the crypto, like if you lose your key, there's no way of retrieving this. That is more, I mean, horrible to me. You know, this is something I may lose entire my savings because some reason I forgot one of the digits. It could happen, right?
If say many years from here, from today, we can have 1% to regulate and it's divided the focus of the tools now, so that they can bypass the regulators. Because everything is recorded in the system, suppose that we can trace. That's what I can understand. And you're saying that this is
traceable.
So it's just that we don't have someone who can prove it. That's why we can't be traced.
Yeah, it is traceable because I gave an example. This American Secret Service found the guy and got the money. So one of the arguments they make is not traceable. Anonymity is not really true. Because this, who is creating? Somebody is creating the algorithm, right? Yeah. So somebody will know this and they can find out and do some this. But my point is that any innovation, you know, is disruptive, right? So it has also kept us thinking. It has created some benefits, some losses and so on. So my, I will say go slowly, analyze the different part of it, and go give some time rather than saying it's haram. We have a tendency of doing this. We should not do this really. Even recently, like about a month ago, US government finally agreed to commission a study. So they are bringing all the best brains in the United States to study this phenomenon and which way the government would go in terms of regulating this. Either they will say don't regulate, some will say regulate. There are two groups are emerging. Actually, I'm confused myself because I also attend while writing this paper. That those who understand the algorithm and the way it works, they are against it. Really against it. They say that it is not a viable form of currency. It cannot. Again, they are also saying from the limited understanding of the technology. Technology is also expanding, right? It's taking or evolving in a different way. So I am like go slowly and see which it go. And unless I know exactly what it is, I don't want to play it. Yeah. Risk of losing everything.
I just want to ask one question. Basically, what would be the price of this crypto? For example, like Forex, it's for supply and demand. So market maybe this one fundamental. So
There is no fundamental here.
with regards to the pricing, is it based on the supply and demand, the chart? So
You see that argument of Dawud, I disagree with him. You cannot say there's a supply and demand because you have to mining. I mean, continuous. There's a supply is limited 21 million. You cannot go beyond it. Now, what he is trying to say now again is within the network, right? And what percentage of the people are within the network? I'm not in the network. I do not pay for my piece of crypto. So that argument, the supply and demand creates the value of fluctuation. That part I do not buy. I think he is making a mistake there. You cannot say the same thing like a banana or potato supply and demand. Not here, because there are continuously people. You get reward if you can coin something and everybody validates. So you are creating. It seems to me say a video game you are playing. Somebody has given you reward at the end. So supply and demand concept does not really apply here. Supply and demand applies to Malaysian ringgit, export versus import. So you have to pay for it. If supply increases, demand increases. But
so if you want to do a study, what are factors affect the price of the gold or Bitcoin? What would be the factors?
of course, demand would be a factor, but demand will be created by what? Oh, you pay for it, right? So I'm not going to, because if you are not within the network, you cannot pay.
So what is bigger the difference?
Demand if people use this to pay for goods and services more and more. So if you can increase the network, that will create a demand for it, right? Because people are using it. But how many of you are here crypto users?
So means that if a lot of people using it, then the price will go up.
Yeah. Not price. I mean, not over people using it to pay for things. The way like international trade, what causes the Malaysian ringgit to appreciate? If a lot of people foreigners are buying things from us, so that means your export is greater than import. And since they have to pay in Malaysian ringgit, the demand for Malaysian ringgit goes up, and Malaysian ringgit appreciates, right? That's the argument we make, right? But in crypto, let's say we apply the same logic here. But right now, who uses crypto? It's a small network of people, right? So let's say unless you increase the network, more and more people are using as a medium of exchange to pay for things, the demand is not will be stagnant, right? But the weird part is, even within the limited circle, limited network, the price fluctuates. So people are not really using this as a medium of exchange. They were playing this game, speculative game. And this speculation is haram. So and there's a clear line on this.
There's a question.
Yeah, it is using, it is being used. And I give an example. So somebody can hack and ask for ransom. And actually, this many people say that all the in Iran, for example, I'm beginning the Iranian issue. Iran is the most sanctioned country right now. So in order to bypass, they have even do not have access to it, and everybody is watching that. So they have created this alternate platform to do their activities through the crypto world. But for them, crypto is a life, I mean, life and death, right? But from the American perspective, it's money laundering because you are not following the system. You are not going to the SWIFT account and so on.
From the individual is Muslim as well. They are in the midst of allowing people to pay zakat using this crypto.
It is not even defined whether it's a medium of exchange. So, so we cannot really, right? That apart I can tell you. Because majority, my understanding as scholars have agreed that this is not a currency. If it is not a currency, how do you pay zakat?
From the assessment of institution. Just to repeat, but technology is very full of
Very good, very good. Technology is value neutral. This is not halal or haram, this is fine. Now the technology is used to create currency. This is what I argued in my presentation. But that blockchain technology or any better technology can be used in order to collect zakat, pay zakat, that's fine. We are not using that as currency. It's a mechanism. And actually, this is a mechanism being developed in Indonesia. And I'm very pleased. I attended a conference, Zoom. They have already perfected. They are trying to bring it to the market. Like we are driving car, electric car. The technology is making us better, right? Same as the money is the most misunderstood concept in the current world, and we do not have many monetary economics. How money functions, how money is created, and that's why this entire concept of money is related to the very fundamental concept is the riba. And that part should be really taught from all different angles. There are some good scholars like Kabir, he has a very good understanding. There's another guy, Abdul Wahab Mana, he used to be a professional banker. He understands the mechanism. There is another Warner, is a Swiss guy. He has also written the fallacy of money creation and how it is captivating us, how it is creating inequality within the system, and so on. Next time when I come, I'll make a monetary reform presentation. I'm working on it. Because for my own benefit, because it is really very complicated issue. It creates a lot of confusion. What is money? What is credit? Why want to let the private commercial banks not to create money? 97% of the total money supply on the average of any economy are created money, credit by the banking system. And they can only create money if they make loans. In Islam, you cannot make loans on the basis of interest. So the money creation process stops right there. And that because credit is created when a bank makes a loan, and that on the basis of interest haram, it creates inequality. All these corollary or the subsequent problems start with from there. from the basic understanding of that. Yes, yes. The bank that we know the same, this fractionalism banking system. That is against the spirit of Islamic finance. There is no difference between a Islamic bank or conventional bank. Only difference is the conventional bank can make unlimited amount of credit because this credit is not connected to the real activity. So in Islamic bank, they are same process, but money credit creation ability is limited because it has to be connected to the trade. Otherwise, the same. Actually, this question I'm asking, people are, if you look at their pricing, on this they call, the benchmark. So you use a benchmark. No, not selling benchmark. So you need an indicative interest rate, right? To price your loan product. So when you do this, but if you look at when you payment every month, we are keeping this compounding interest within the system. The compounding earning interest is right? I'm still trying to grapple with this concept. I try to have a healthy conversation with the other side. I cannot get to them what I'm trying to tell. You know what I'm saying? So if you will say, amortization in the declining balance, so each payment has both principal and interest, right? And if it was like, for example, say simple interest rate, so 10% you do not compound, but the way Islamic bank do pricing, they do compounding. And compounding is not, from my understanding, is not allowed. That creates riba. It is both. Actually, it is both. Because, okay, the riba interest can be the same, can be the different. Let me give an example. So, for example, let's say I buy, this Morabha. Okay, so I buy tons of potato. I say that this is my cost, 1,000 ringgit. So I want to buy at 10% profit margin, right? So I sell it to 11. Fine, it's a very good, right? Now, the second, so if you have the money, why would you come to me, right? You could go to the market and borrow. So because you don't have money, you have to buy this from credit. They said, no, I'll pay you 1 year later. Then I'll say, okay, this is 10% my profit, but I will charge you 20% because you're not giving me the money. So the first 10% profit, the another 10% time value of money, right? Because of that is a lot, right? There is no problem there because it's a valid trade again. Either you pay now or future. Now, on the other hand, let's look at another that a conventional bank. What they do, they say that okay, 100, you have to pay 10%, regardless what happens with you or not. So the riba and interest, like for example, another thing I can tell you is riba. Her currency has to be hand-to-hand, same quality doesn't differ. But the same currency, if I want to give you 1 day later, that is a riba, right? But there is no interest there because you're not paying any additional. I have another presentation. I do a lot of Islamic finance. I see a lot of interest in Islamic finance. So, in order to answer your question, should I say this? Get rid of all banks. With banks, we will not be able to get the essence of Islamic finance. We really need to create a lot of non-banking financial institutions.
risk capital partnership type of financing. But why we are not going to the direction? The scientific information is high risk. But in Islam says you have to share risk sharing. We have to go to the risk sharing principle. Without risk sharing principle, we will not get best makassid that we're supposed to get. But you, as a Sharia scholar, if you send it to me, Bangladesh, if you send this, you'll be out of job. The banking industry is dominating 80%. We are just, sometimes I wonder how we become a slave to the system. Do you think that Islamic bank and conventional bank will do things differently? If you are, let's say, if I'm a student, there is no concept of student loan, let's say, if I go to both banks and say, get the hell out of here, what I have human capital, right? I want to monetize my human capital. Give me something, then from my future income, I can pay you off. Conventional bank or Islamic bank, they say no. Look at the client base. They're taking money from small sailor members. But who are they giving the money to? They're giving the money back to us? No. They're giving to the corporate bank. People who have money, they're benefiting from it. So now what my position is, I developed it. My position is that let a bank be bank, let they do the Murabaha banking, don't get into long-term finance. Payment mechanism on the basis of fee. Islamic, like the money that you have can be used either to help someone. Like money, I want to help. How do I do this? Fatherless. I cannot ask for anything. Or money can be as a tool of savings. So if I give the money to you, like in a bank, the bank gives you interest whether convention there's Islamic profit loss sharing. But I should be paying you to safeguard my savings, right? So what you do as a bank, you give me a guarantee, but no extra. I have to pay you all to keep my money safe. And that is how to like save the service. But the third option to invest. When you want to invest money, it has to do with the risk and profit loss sharing basis. That there should not be a guarantee if I want to get a return. So the way we define riba, the operational, any financial instrument which combines risk, return and guarantee, that becomes riba. Any instrument, any financial product. I guarantee you and give you a return. You cannot. Additional they are provided by the
It's because of so if we are moving away from that, this will be much distance. So for sure, actually, the
this all together goes. It is very risky. I know the Dow broker, everybody is messing with the Dow broker. Dow broker position is not really good. You're talking about Hassan is more open and he talks about this. But again, I was told to be careful making statement while you're I have debated many times with him with Crossing platform. He goes to the conventional Islamic framework, banking.
So, one of the things reminds us is, the return that homework. There's a lot of confusion. What is Ziva and what is not Ziva? Even the higher stars, it's like trading, but it's not trading. It's trading a lot. So, Guru Kumar said, lamented, I wish our prophet did little longer to explain what Ziva is. So, they are going to continue until the day of judgment. That is not. You believe that, Sheikh of Al-Azhar Tantori say, back to the interest is allowed, right? It made that the public. How can you? And many of them, what I believe, it's even me being a conventional finance guy, the money creation mechanism, I'm still trying to understand it. Can you think of Sharia scholar who never had any thinking of finance class? How could he understand the complexity? Islamic financial product is more expensive. Because you have to use so many layers in order to comply with the Sharia, right? But it is very profitable. Islamic banks in Bangladesh, very profitable. Everyone wants to open it. They want to convert their country to Islam. You know why? Because, again, it's a very business. They're selling religion. You put your money into the bank, you really don't ask yourself how this money is being used. Because there's a Sharia scholar there. He said it's allowed. If anything, he's going to go to Allah. We put everything on. Islam is not like this religion, right? It's individual responsibility to understand. And it is also responsible to the Sharia scholar to tell the truth. But the Sharia scholars in Bangladesh are captive. They work under the management. And I know because from there, they change their doubtful income percentage. Let's say the Morakics internal Sharia scholar, they talk about, okay, this income is doubtful, that goes to this court. But if it goes to the court, they cannot distribute a dividend. If they can show this part of their income. They said, no, go. They change your risk here and make it small so that the money comes to you, net income form. And that is happening. And I have sworn the Sharia. They have very limited employment opportunity. They have a huge big employment base. For your case, you lose your job there in the Sharia store, it doesn't matter, your job there, right? But these people, those who work come from madrasa, religious background, this is the only thing they do. And if they lose job, another bank is not going to take him because they will find out why he lost the job because he was being strict. Not strict means he was following the Sharia rule that he's supposed to follow. So I made this argument because each bank, every kind of bank, Islamic bank, in this country as well, in aggregate, they have a huge amount of doubtful income. That doubtful income could be used to the charitable organization. That could be used in order to pay for all research, the Sharia scholar payment. So the Sharia scholar will not be kept into the banking industry. So they can open speak their mind because they do not have any fear of losing job. It's happening left and right in Bangladesh. At least you have brought these things under some rule and regulation. Because we started Islamic banking in 1982 by making the law first. Same year, Bangladesh and I give this operation. Same year, both countries started their operation. In Bangladesh, 30% of the financial sector is Islamic, 30%, without having any law. So there is a demand. The people want to live their life according to Muhammad, but they don't have the knowledge whether their money is actually being spent in the legal halal way. So again, the problem with Sharia scholar, they don't understand modus operandi. And the manager is previous, so he just made this, You know how many people have you're lucky in this country, you're a professor, this and that. But in Bangladesh, they come from Komi Madrasa. So it's the Dagondi tradition. So now, you know, my mother-in-law. So I have a litmus test. If you can explain the concept what the Islamic bank does to your mother-in-law, then if she understands, then you're doing it right. She always tells me, okay, you do this, then she'll say, oh, you do not need this, you do this. But she's right too. You know, when I say, no, the form is fine, but the address is the same, you cannot convince her, right? So she doesn't care about the form. She cares about the end result, right? End result is the same.
So in Malaysia, we are very lucky because we are very well taken care of. I'm sure that they will advise they are doing correct. And then for the thing that mentioned about something that's safe with national, because he and history, because something that is not offer something which is silent. So if you don't have something that is, of course, you have to the banks and you actually walk the bar. So that's why this is our responsibility to offer service that all the student advantage in Sharia. Of course, being a bank is for the way to suggest the whole point. Mention this already. It's not easy because it's of course, quickly try to sharing the profit and loss with the customers, of course, they will never allow that. So we, Sharia scholars, we are working in the framework that we are able to work with. So of course, it is the gatekeeper to ensure Sharia compliance. So whatever things that is important, because services is our fiduciary duty to ensure that all are Sharia compliance, is that for moral advisory, and then of course, that's
Actually, no, I agree 100%. When I do, my position is that too. I'm saying that bank be a bank, Murabaha, short-term trade financing, working capital management. They cannot go into the long-term or risk capital, like equity, Murabaha, Udaravan. Then I completely go on the same page. When I'm also on the same page, usually as scholars are more knowledgeable. You have the training, they have the regulation. But in Bangladesh, there is no regulation. Yeah, you're lucky. So your industry actually is maturing in this bank. But my basic statement still remains the same. You compare. Right. The basic statement is end result, you are doing Murabaha banking. It is also doing current working capital management banking. Right? So if you want to keep it that way, keep it that way. That's fine. And you should not do more than that. You know, all these things, BVI, this and that. Yes, you do. You know, you look at your loan product, this and that. But I'm saying, you know, to bring the risk sharing principle, that is the crux of Islamic finance. You cannot do it through a bank. You have to do it through non-bank financial institutions, capital market, venture capital, mutual fund. But it's a very risky venture. So we also have to train our people. That risk taking is very much Islam. You know, sometimes I also make this statement, a billionaire. If you talk to a billionaire, he doesn't want to give away his 10% of his capital. Say, okay, let's give my 10% of capital to a venture capital or give it to a scientist who come up with some idea. He also wants to protect his capital. So that part, so very often I say that, you know, you have to educate them. Educate the Islamic teaching. This, you know, this, we try to preaching, but we're good in preaching, said, oh, that man belongs to Allah. But that only, it just, that's on the preaching part. It never comes into action. What you're saying. So we have to do our purification of our heart as well. Everyone, the person who has money, the person who is a scholar, the person who is advocating and so on. So my final statement, let it proceed. The way you are crossing a river, you're in the boat. Don't, I mean, make too many, you know, pressures of the boats now capsize, right? You need to go to the other side. So these are the growing pain. The bombs are there, they're making mistakes, they're learning. Actually, what Malaysian doing is many countries have become to Malaysia study this system. So you have the rules and regulations, the Sharia scholar, the training, and some, you know, they talking about fit and proper tests and all this thing. They can follow this so that at least the banks, Islamic banks, follow that and non-corporate all those type of problems. If they follow Sharia, that will be meaningful, right? But one can say the greater long-term objective, I don't think that even banking system, conventional, let's forget it, will not be able to achieve. You really need to get out of this back.
By criminalizing financial services, especially on Islamic social finance, because they have more compromise. So that's why they see that fund.
That's very good. Yeah, this is why it is. But if you do a non-banking system, you'll also pay zakat, right? And what I'm saying is, one of the basic principles of finance, high risk, high return, right? Because risk and return is superior. So if you go to the risky venture, you have risk capital, the profit will be higher too, you'll be paying more zakat compared to a bank what it does. Yeah, it is doing, I'm saying. So let Islamic bank, you know, do a moral habit. Don't let it go down. That will create a problem. Even conventional bank also do not go down short-term finance, right? Because it is not designed. What is the root cause? Why I'm saying? Because both systems are following fractional reserve banks. They are not designed to take on long-term risks. So you confine yourself to short-term financing. Do an Islamic insurance, so make sure that all the basic elements are there. You know, the concept of all the conditions of trade, there's a river, there's a Agora, there's not certain speculation. That is okay. But it's not going to achieve the what I'm talking. So we are on the same page.
So about time. Okay. So Alhamdulillah, we have already ended up the Q&A session. What a lovely exchange of ideas and perspective. I want to express my gratitude to Professor Dr. M. Kabir Hassan once more for sharing his thoughts with us today. Without a certain, everyone who joined us today learned a great deal. So my name is Arif, and I want to thank everyone for coming today on behalf of AAGBS. Thank you, and have a good remainder of the day. We postpone our ceremony with Tasbih Kifara and Salatul Asr. With that, wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we end, can we get